Howdy everybody. So you're here because, like me, you like affordable tools, which is what we got right here. This is the VEVOR engine stand, and we're going to be doing an assembly and review of this engine stand. And when I say review, this is going to be thorough. So unlike anything else you've ever really seen with stuff like this, these affordable tools, I'm going to be ripping the engine out, the inline 6 Ford 300 out of this 93 F-150, and I'm going to slap it on this stand. So you guys will get to see kind of full assembly, how that process goes, overall, opinions of the materials, what it looks like, and then ultimately you're going to see how it performs with an inline 6 put on it. So hopefully this gets to check all your boxes. We're going to get right into it and essentially unpacking everything that comes in this box. It's quite heavy. We'll go through the details of the stand specifics once we get it open. Get it assembled, and then at the end of the video you guys will see me rip this 300 out, throw it on there, and give it a couple spins. All right, so really quick, let's just go over assembly tools and what we have in place now. I'm going to be using a Milwaukee 3/8 impact just to make the tightening go a little bit quicker. Underneath it we got a cheap Swan Lake 3/8 impact socket set, just so we have whatever we need right there. Crescent wrench or something, once that time comes and we start tightening. Other than that, I got a handy dandy cutter thing, and that's what I'm gonna use to get into the box. I don't know if you can say the knife word on here, but let's get it open. If you can see that, if you need to read a lot, I don't think this is going to be the instructions for you. Let's see what else we got here. You do have a step-by-step. So page 2 kind of goes over step-by-step instructions at the bottom, starts on 3 and ends on, so we got 7-step instructions on how to assemble. And for you guys that don't like that, pictures. Here we got everything in our shakeout. So casters, turn chuck or your turnstile chuck, your actual turn handle, main beam, supports, your 4 mounting arms, 4 mounting arms for your engine mount, support bracket, your main legs, and then the main beam, post beam here. So I'm going to go over each parts of these as we start the assembly process, and you can kind of know what numbers they have there. Hopefully your instructions will follow the same. You guys can follow along with assembly if you need. All right, so getting started, we're going to need our nuts and bolts. These are not labeled, so you're going to have to kind of do what you can as far as looking at the picture and then follow along here. I'll show you best what I'm going to do, but we're going to essentially start with our front legs. Both these front legs, so those are interchangeable, part number 17. It doesn't matter which one you do. Now, one thing to take note of here is your larger casters, not your non-locking casters, are going to go in the rear parts of your front legs, and then the lock casters are going to go in the front. So I'll show you what I'm using to assemble to get those done. All right, so to get the casters in place, you're going to need 2 nuts. They're all the same size there, and they're going to be 3/4. Same with your bolts. So your bolts are going to need their regular washer. You're going to need 2 of these, 1 for each caster, and then 1 spring washer for each caster. Now, when you go to do the assembly, you'll notice on your front arm, you need to set it up where this is going to be the rear. You'll have a top hole insert here, a side hole insert here, and then on the bottom front side, this is going to be your front. There's going to be 1 hole in the bottom. So this is the way it should set up. 1 hole at the rear on top, and on the inside, and then at the front in the bottom. And I'll get you in here on the front. If you check this out, this one's going to be a little different. So get you a 3/4 open-end wrench or ratcheting wrench if you got one, and you're going to do the same thing. So little lockable caster goes on the front. We're going to go flat washer on the inside first, spring/lock washer, and then thread it on there hand tight. Wouldn't recommend holding it up like this, because if you drop it, of course, it's going to fall to the back. You're going to have to get it out. And then on the front side, I've got a VEVOR 3/8 flex ratcheting wrench. I'm going to drop that on. Slow going. Awesome. Get that in there nice and tight. Couple duggas on it. Dugga. And now that's 1 leg good to go. So now we're just going to repeat that for the opposite side. All right, since we're down here, I think now is going to be a good time to at least slap the front 2 caps on. And that's literally just slapping it in by hand. Makes it look a little bit cleaner. I'm going to do that to both fronts real quick. That's good there. And now we're going to move on to the rear kind of sub support. And we should have caught, or I should have caught this honestly, but even though instructions tell you to make sure that you complete the assembly on this side first, we're going to have to untorque our rear casters and then torque them back up once we get this rear sub support on. I'm going to get this set here, kind of swing it around. Let it hang out there while I get this one in board. Swing the front around. Now we've got those kind of set in place. So before I torque it up, I'm going to thread through a couple more bolts here. Now these are 11s, these are 16s. So the shorter of the slick neck, kind of shorter thread, these are going to be your 16s that go in the side down here. And once you have those in place, everything's the same. So it's flat washer, crush washer, and then flat washer, crush washer on both, or on all four. And we don't need to, but I'm of course going to go crisscross here. So I'm going to go high, side, and then high, side. And just got it there. When you're putting on your rear beam, your main rear beam, the flange on your angle here should be to the back side. So depending on how yours come, an easy marker for this, when you get the flange to the back side, your VEVOR symbol should be facing the engine as it sits on the stand. And then in here, we're going to go back to the long number 11s like I was talking about. So we're going to go 11 through that way, and then additionally 11 that way. Now that's on and kind of supporting itself, just rinse, repeat with the same washer step. Flat, crush washer, bolt, nut, sorry. Three, four. So, flat crush, flat crush. Then I'm gonna get these hand tight. And we'll zip these up first, and then I'll move on to the bottom. I need to, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw this on there to hold it still when I zip these up. Got those on. Should be done messing with the bottom side now. So this is what I'm going to do. Just slap these rear covers on, end covers for the legs. That's all we're going to do here is bring it in, at least for now. There's going to be a top hole that you want to line up to. So bringing you guys up top. This hole is going to want to be what you line up against. There's going to be just a retaining pin that snaps in here. So once you have it lined up, I had to fight with that a little bit, so you guys saw. Once you have it lined up, that's going to be what locks that in place. Now we're going to move on to mounting these. This is where people kind of always get an engine stand messed up and how you mount these. I've done it before in the past myself too, so I'm not knocking anybody, just saying this is kind of where it all goes awry at. So we're essentially going to mount these like this. And you'll have to play around with these depending on how your engine setup is. But essentially what you need to remember is if you're standing behind the stand, you want the stub out on your support arm, mount arm, away from you, facing away from you. So it's actually going to get mounted like this. So really it's going to be your washer and your nut setup is just going to be rinse and repeat the same way it's been the rest of the process. But just to show you guys kind of how all this should go, I'm going to mount it the same way here. So again, your stub out facing you or facing toward the engine. It goes through right here and it should be able to slide around. And just remember, when you mount this, you want it to be a little stiff, but you don't want to over torque it, right? Because you're gonna change these from depending on how your engine is set up. I guarantee it. So I'm just gonna give this a little juice. That's all. And then the icing on the cake. Whenever it's time to get in here and get turning, this goes through. It's the way it is right there when you need to spin it. And if you need more leverage, of course, you come out a little bit longer toward the end. And there's holes, just so you guys can see how this turn works. Every potential position for this, there's a hole. See, we just passed one. We'll go back this way. There's another hole. All right, guys, but that is assembly of the VEVOR stand. I want to say this one is the 1,300 pound capacity one. Again, Amazon, I think I caught it on a prime sale. I think it was 90 bucks. So that was the assembly. I mean, everything else is pretty stout. To be honest with you guys, when you buy these, you're buying the same stand no matter who it's coming from. It's just what color it's painted and what sticker is put on there. I promise you that. I mean, might be different if you can get onto some like really high-end name brands, but if you're going to go to Pittsburgh, if you're going to go grab one of those iron ton stands, anything like that, it's all the same. It's just how it's going to be painted. I can guarantee it. Welds look good on all of your welded parts. I mean, you saw the part I talked about with the rust that was painted over. So I mean, for 90, 100 bucks, whatever you spend on it, this is the way to go. That's the assembly part. So if you're done and that's all you wanted to see was the assembly and how it happened, click off. You don't need to watch the rest of the video, but I'm going to get started and we're going to actually rip this engine out of here now and get it thrown on here and see how it holds. I'm going to take some pressure off, get this zipped up as close as we can get her. Same thing here. So start with the top. It's going to be a little odd. So you kind of leave, or I like to leave these a little free floating. And then essentially, I can move it around wherever I need to. All right, now that those are taut, you can bring the insides in. Right here. Same thing here. That should be good. And that's back up to the 3/4. All right. All right. Safety pin. Whoo! Well, as you can tell by the close, it is the next day technically. So ran into some issues with the engine hoist. Harbor Freight sent it with no hardware, brand new in the box. Had to go get replacement hardware. That hardware was wrong, and ended up having to go to the hardware store and just source some stuff myself, and still ended up jerry-rigging what I could. But as far as the engine stand goes, again, this is day 2. You can see we're a little bouncy on the stand, but this is an inline 6, right? So this is one block, one unit. All that weight is just hanging in a row. It goes all the way out to the end of the engine stand. But it's still holding the weight pretty well, and overall, it's rolling pretty good for what it is. So I'm happy with it. It is definitely serving its purpose. And then, of course, as we get this dismembered, get everything kind of dismantled here, that weight's just going to decrease. So we get a lot of this heavy junk stuff off. We get down to the block where we need to do the bulk of our work. I think the engine stand is going to do more than serve its purpose. But again, I'm happy with it. It's definitely working very well. Legs are unlocked and rolling. I mean, you can see just pushing it around, it's still rolling here pretty good. But overall, I'd buy it again. And I think that's what matters to you guys. So if you don't like spending a lot of money on tools, you're looking for something quality that works, I think VEVOR is the way to go. Again, pick this up on a prime sale between 90 and 100 bucks, maybe up to like 110. I don't know what they're running right now. I'm not affiliated with these guys by any means. There's no link in the description. I don't get a kickback if you go buy it. I'm not doing any of that. It's just, again, somebody as somebody that's cheap, doesn't want to spend a lot of money on tools. This is what I purchased. This is what I'm using. And as you can see, it's working. So definitely recommend for what it is. Thanks. If you're interested in other videos as far as like reviews go, I'm sure there's going to be a ton more tools I have to pick up to get this done. If you're interested in watching the progress on this truck, my dream truck build, definitely stay tuned. I'm curious to hear what everybody else has going on. This is something I'm looking to, enjoy myself and then also share with others. This is one of the most rewarding things you can do as a man, a young man, is be able to take something, and a young woman, is be able to take something apart like this, fix it, put it back together, and build something better than it was before. It's stress relieving, even though you run into stressful moments. So this is something I enjoy doing. I've missed it, and hopefully you guys do too. But again, can't recommend the VEVOR stand enough if you want to spend the money. Thanks.